Welcome, everyone, to another episode of Amplify, where we like to highlight and spotlight fancy people like Scott Fosgate over at Atlantic Bay Mortgage. Welcome, Scott. This is your first virtual video with us together.
It is. Thank you, Delilah. I'm thrilled to be here. Appreciate the opportunity.
Yes, even though we do live close to each other, we're in the same Orlando, Central Florida vicinity, guys. However, it is brutally cold here in Florida because I guess Florida decided to participate in this whole winter storm weather thing that's going on.
Our number finally got called, I guess. We
Yep.
couldn't be in the 80s forever, right? Everybody else was mad at us.
So Scott and I will be attending IMB in Amelia Island, and it is going to be cold as well.
Flurries? Like there's that area, maybe flurries? What? End of the
Well,
weekend?
the weather and it was like waking up to the 20s. I was like, Lord have mercy. Lord
Mm-hmm.
have mercy.
Yeah.
However, we are attending and representing Atlantic Bay together, so I'm really excited about that. And this is Scott's first IMB. But before we started recording, Scott told me something that I didn't know, and I thought it was really cool. And I wondered if anybody else, if this happens to them, because I guess I didn't think about this because I attend so many conferences. So he said it was the first. We attended NAM together, right in Orlando, right
Yep. A
there.
couple weeks ago. Yep.
Yep. And you said it was your first conference where you weren't behind the booth. You weren't a vendor. You actually got to attend,
Right.
right?
Yeah. Got to
Okay.
attend. Here's some speakers. Things that we don't do when we are showcasing ourselves, right, as an exhibitor. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. It's cool to kind of pick and choose the sessions you want to listen to, get engaged with some of the speakers, because afterwards we went ahead and we who was it, Barry Habib, we you talked with him a little bit, and there was a few other sessions that were really good, but you got to attend them and not work a booth. Was it different? Was it different for you?
For sure. I mean, honestly, it was way more relaxing, and it was great. Like it was just good to be able to just not have to think about selling my company or what I'm normally there for, and be able to enjoy the info from some super smart people, right? I mean, that's just and be able just to kind of just pick up conversations here and there with people, other attendees and things like that. So yeah.
Encourage people to pick, I say two conferences, and I recommend on a national level, but sometimes they can't do that. So on a regional level, I encourage people to attend for just their self personal growth.
Right.
Of course, they can always go if the company wants to let them go and cover the cost, great. However, you should attend a conference on
Yeah.
your by yourself for
Yeah.
your own.
Yeah, you got to invest in yourself in this industry for sure,
Yep,
for sure.
absolutely. So again, we are hitting IMB together, but I wanted Scott to come on because we are partnering together, and I want to let everyone know about our uh, collaboration, but the backstory of it, right?
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah,
so I used to work for Atlantic Bay years ago, like in 20, before you, Scott, right?
right,
Before.
yeah,
Okay. So like 2017, 2018 time. And I was with them for a little while, and it didn't work at that time, right? And so when we started our partnership last year, later on in the year, it was just a great example about the power of still staying connected, about, you said, not burning those bridges because you just never know, and how things can come back full circle. So go ahead, Scott, take it away. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, it's vital. I mean, this industry, the world's a small place, right? 6 degrees of separation type thing, and I feel this mortgage industry can be, quite a bit less than that. Maybe 2 or 3 degrees of separation. And it's just a principle of life, right? We never know. We see some grass that might appear greener on the other side of
Mhm.
things, and maybe they are, and maybe it's not, and maybe it is for a period of time, and then maybe it's not. And so, whether you're going to, separate from a company, depart, you've got to do it with humility. You've got to do it, in a way that, hey, maybe it turns around and the guy that was your boss, you turn out being his boss a few years later, right? This world can spin in a lot of ways. And so, I have a wonderful mother, who taught me, a lot of good things. And from an ethical and moral perspective, you are who you associate yourself with. And your exit, right, can be the lasting memory if that's the case, right? We talk about a transaction on a mortgage. I might have the best intake call with a client, and then 45 days later, if we fumble at the 1 yard line the day before his closing, guess what he's going to remember? The fumble. He doesn't remember that he loved me 30 days prior. So same thing with maybe departing a company or making a move, right? That 1 yard line, that exit might be what they remember, positive or negative, right? I mean, I can tell you, Delilah, I think I might have mentioned it before. When I left my previous company, I was there 13 years. So I absolutely have a big respect for people and dedication to places. But I cried like a baby at 8:30 in the morning, having breakfast, telling my boss I was leaving, right? And because it meant that much to me, and I gave them the opportunity, they just didn't have what I needed at the time, and that's okay. And we're great friends. We saw each other last week, so it is all positive moving forward, and you got to do it the right way.
Completely agree. And when Atlantic Bay came back, I was so honored because I still stayed in contact with a few folks. I would still run into people on a national or even local level. So I was always really cool. I stayed really cool with a couple of your leadership, and it was always a good time. It was always hugs and laughs and catching up. And of course, when the exit happened, thanked them for the opportunity and I kept it going. But I didn't hold any resentment. I wished them the best. And because we stayed connected and because I still was thankful, and I'm just big on
The
relationships.
mutual respect was there, Delilah,
Yeah,
right? They mutually respected you to call you years later. You still had a mutual respect for the company.
absolutely.
And here we are, right? You've got your
Yeah.
own thing going. It's a great setup. And here we
And
go.
here, and here we are.
Right.
So, you guys, I know sometimes things don't pan out the way they're supposed to or you want them to, and that's life. That's just how it is, whether it's just in business like our industry or outside of it. But how you respond to certain situations and seasons will make a lasting impression, kind of like your football analogy, right? Where
Right.
you're at the 1 yard.
Sure.
And look at what's transpiring, and I'm honored, like I said, honored to be representing you guys, honored to be working with you, and we have a great time. Did we not have a great Christmas with all the events and everything we did
Fun
together?
stuff, girl. Fun
It was.
stuff. We do.
And so I just encourage people, listen, timing is a part of it. It may not be that season for you, but you just never know what it may come around. So just be open, be kind, and
Yeah.
make sure you leave a good last impression.
A good impression. And I think too, Delilah, staying healthy in your own space, right? Staying healthy in your own head can help control those positive interactions with folks, even if it is in a departing, seasonal life, right? Or something that kind of has more of a down, sense to it, or kind of a negative connotation to it. Being right in your own headspace allows you to respond in that way, right? And that's a timing thing too. I mean, I'll tell you a quick story. This is getting personal, but my
Go for
wife,
it.
who I met on a plane, as you know the story,
So
there was about 2 weeks after we met, things were going great, and we call it the break check. She wasn't sure, right? It seemed so great that she was like, "Oh my goodness, this can't be true." Came to me, and I'm going to be honest, Delilah, I was in a headspace that I was very comfortable with myself and with my environment, my daughters, and everything. And I told her, "This has got to work on your timeline. Forcing anything is not going to work." And that response, she has since told me, that response, which by the way, that's mature Scott. Old Scott wouldn't have done that, right? Back in the day, he'd have been a whack job. Yeah, I don't know what he'd have done. But as maturity happens and things go along, right? I was in a headspace that I said, that's okay. And that break check only lasts a week, and we're married 5 years and I have a 3-year-old. So
Amen. And that's a great, you know what? That is a great story and
yeah,
a great example,
thousand
right?
percent true. Yeah, yeah, absolutely.
The response, like how you respond, could potentially dictate how you move forward.
There you go.
So, you know, just your response, be careful, take a deep breath. Remember, feelings are not facts,
That's right.
kind of thing. And it's okay. It is okay. Well, Scott and I are excited again. Amelia Island and IMB will be there.
Yeah,
Hey, Scott,
next week.
because I get in Monday morning. When do you get in?
I'll be in Sunday night. Actually, I'll get in. I'll get in there late Sunday night or dinner time probably. But yeah, ready to go Monday. I think at noon it kicks off. So
Absolutely.
can't
And so
wait.
we're excited. We're excited to be there again representing. If you have any questions or want to connect with Scott or myself, please reach out to us. And again, thank you for watching another episode of Amplify, where we highlight fancy people and we kind of, get into some storytelling. Bye.